Alright, so to finish off now with this module on the key of commitment, I want to make a video that kind of brings it all together with finishing off on something of a more spiritual note, where the resource that I'm going to be looking into is one of my favorites in looking at gaining wisdom, because a lot of people don't actually know this, but when I ask the question, um, it really surprises them with the answer. So the thing that you can all look up, and question that I want you to see if you can answer right now yourself, is who was the richest, wealthiest person to have ever lived? Who was the richest, wealthiest person to have ever lived? And when I ask this question, some people who are a little bit younger might say, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, people who they know about right now because they believe that the time that we're in is the time that had the most amount of richness and wealth. But when you actually look into history and you ask people a little bit older, they say, it's probably not them two. It's more like someone like Mansa Musa. But really, when you look into it and you find that it's not necessarily even him, we find that the dates of what the records say as the richest person to have ever lived is King Solomon. And King Solomon is someone who is noted not only in the Bible, he's noted in the Quran as someone who was he had a lot of wealth, and God blessed him with tons of wealth and resources. And so one of the things about him is that he actually had a reputation, and his reputation was not just being the richest person that lived in that time and that has ever lived, but also his reputation was that he was the wisest person that ever lived. So just to give you a little bit of an idea as to how rich and wealthy King Solomon was, they said that if he was living right now, he would be the equivalent of not just a multi-billionaire, but a multi-trillionaire. Like, he was that rich, that wealthy. And the thing about him is that he did have this reputation of being also the wisest person within that particular time, in that era. And so where this comes in is that you can start to have a different mindset around how you accumulate money, and instead of looking at the effect of having the resources and having the capital, having all of the abundance and the wealth, you can look at that as an effect of a cause. And the cause of this is through having wisdom. And remember, wisdom is simply the application of truth. That's all it is. So it's the highest level of truth. So when you're looking at it from that perspective, it's like you don't necessarily have to go out and chase money. The same way that people have this mentality of, okay, I got to go and chase women, or I got to go and chase success and things like that. Like, you don't have to do that. You can actually become attractive to money, attractive to success. And the way that we do it is by applying the truth. That's all it is. Because then, through becoming wise, money is attracted to wisdom. So if money is attracted to wisdom, then you'll see money just flowing towards you in abundance, often. So that's the thing that I would be having as a little bit of a focus right there, mindset, paradigm shift. So now that you are no longer looking to hustle and chase towards money relentlessly, and you're just looking to become wise and applying the truth, first thing that you've got to do is find the truth. Where can you find that? And then the second thing, once you've found the truth, and the way to find the truth is to figure out also what are the lies. Because if you don't know what the lies are, you don't know what the truth is. So you've got to get rid of the lies, find the truth, and then once you have that truth, apply the truth as best as possible and go through that process as quick as possible. Now, when it comes to the reason for why I want to bring this all back to commitment is because one of the places where I've found a lot of truth and a lot of wisdom is looking at the things that King Solomon actually would write. So you can look at his material in the Bible, where you look at Proverbs, and that's pretty much a lot of the wisdom that he shared in his life. So in Proverbs, there's a quote that says something about commitment. It's one of the best ones in the Bible about commitment, where it says that first, a person wants to make a commitment to the Lord about the work they're doing, and then the plan shall be revealed. So the first thing that a person must do is make a commitment to the Lord, and then a plan is revealed. But most people get it backwards because they're looking to come up with a plan first and then make a commitment. But by doing so, what happens is that the plan that you come up with is your plan instead of God's plan. And your plan cannot be superior to God's plan because God is the ultimate. So if you want to live the God life and you want the God plan for the God life, then you cannot have it until you've unlocked the key of commitment. And so all of these methods that we've been teaching you over here in this module about how you can commit, how you can do so in the best way, in the quickest way, in the way where you have the most amount of certainty when you're doing it, and the least amount of price and cost that you gotta go with it because you went through a mathematical scientific process. Once you've made that commitment, you will unlock God's plan, which will only be revealed to you by God when you get to that place. So yes, there are certain things that you can be going down in terms of a specific niche, a certain angle, and things like that. But the way that you get there and the steps that you take, you've got to be able to submit and surrender to the process that God wants you to go down, because He will put people in your life, He will put opportunities that you could never have even thought of being possible. And that's what I've experienced through not only making commitments, but just being in complete surrender to the flow of life that God wants me to go down. And the more that I've done this, the more that I've realized that things can become a lot easier, and I'm not having to necessarily swim upstream, but I can flow and just surrender to the direction of the current. And that's where you want to be, right? But you cannot get there until first you make the commitment, like it says in Proverbs, and then afterwards the plan will be revealed. So if you want to learn more about some of the wisdom that King Solomon has given as one of the richest people that's ever lived, like I'm not the richest person that's ever lived yet, but he was. So I would recommend, if you want those types of results or you want anything similar, then go and study what it says in that. You know, one of the people who I definitely have to give recognition to and appreciation for, in me being able to, you know, see that that's where a lot of the wisdom lies that will help you create that wealth, is a guy that you can study on YouTube. His name is Myron Golden, and what I love about what he does is that he brings a lot of biblical concepts, which is not teaching it in a religious way, but he brings biblical concepts towards business, which is a spiritual approach that I've never seen before, and I think it's genius. And a lot of people who are not necessarily religious, Catholics, Christians, they follow what he says just from a business perspective, and they get consultancy from him. So I would highly recommend checking out some of his work. It's incredible. And yeah, if you want to give us some feedback as well on how you found all of this module right here on the key of commitment, let us know what your plans are as well and how you're going to commit first. Then more than happy to help out and listen in and see what you've gained from this experience so far. But yeah, for now we've come up to the end of the 4 keys. These are the 4 foundational ones where you've now been able to bridge the gap. The next one is going to be looking at the key of systemization, right? The key of systemization, and I want to be going through that with you, but you will only go through that with me once I have seen you demonstrate the 4 keys, and certainly the key of commitment. If I've not seen this demonstrated with you, you will not unlock that, because I believe that I would be genuinely doing you a disservice is if I was to unlock that key for you without you going through the first 4 foundational keys. So once you've done that, we'll talk about how we can unlock the next keys and what that will look like for you going forwards. But for now, thank you so much. Appreciate you watching this entire thing, and I look forward to hearing your feedback as well. I'll see you soon.